Hello everyone, I'm Gavel Ravisha Hapuarachchi, and today we'll be discussing how to craft a powerful speech. We've all listened to speeches that left us inspired, motivated, and even transformed. But we've also sat through talks that felt long, confusing, and sometimes forgettable. So, what's the difference? It's not just about the speaker's voice or the style, but it begins with how the speech itself is crafted, the content, the structure, and the flow. So today I want to take you through how you too can craft a powerful speech step by step. So first, we'll talk about the purpose. The first step when you're about to craft a speech is to ask yourself this question: why am I doing this speech? You might be trying to teach someone a concept or deliver a motivational message or even promote something. And when you're thinking about what your speech should be about, choose a subject that combines your passion with your audience's interests. That right there is the sweet spot that you want to reach. Now let's talk about structuring your speech. Once you have a strong topic, structure is going to be your best friend. Think of a speech like a journey. You need to guide your audience from the beginning right up to the end without losing them along the way. So the classic structure never fails. It's that you move forward with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So the introduction is where you grab the audience's attention. You could start with a story, a powerful quote, or even a thought-provoking question. So we call this as having an opening hook in your speech. And that is simply where you grab the attention of your audience from the very first moment you start speaking. And that's always a mark of a really good speech. Next, you have your body, and that is where you will present 2 or 3 main points, supported with examples, facts, or stories. But remember, don't overload it too much either. Keep things very clear and concise. And finally, you have your conclusion. This is where you will tie everything together and leave a memorable message or challenge your audience to take an action. And every part in your speech needs to connect smoothly. So your audience is on that journey right with you. And it's a very meaningful journey where they will have a message in their heads as well. Now let's talk about engaging the audience. Structure alone is not enough. You need to engage with your audience. And what's the most powerful tool for engagement? It's storytelling. People may forget facts, but they rarely forget a good story. Facts and evidence are important and they give credibility to your speech, but you do need to add a personal touch from a story, and this balance will make your speech both trustworthy and memorable. You can also use rhetorical devices to make your words stick. So some things that you can do is you could use repetition. For example, you might say something like, we must act today, we must act together, and we must act with courage. So that's one example for repetition. You could also have a rhetorical question like, if not now, when? And another great thing that you can do with your speeches is to add humor. Whenever you add humor and you have your audience laughing, that means that your audience is fully engaged with what you're talking about. So always try to add some humor and bring a light-hearted tone to your speech. These are all small techniques, but they will make a big impact. Your audience will be listening with not just their ears, but their minds as well. Now, you need to focus on the clarity and the message that you're delivering. So the clarity is a key element of your speech, and the clarity will enable to deliver your message in a really good way. And a powerful speech is built on a single core message, which is what we discussed earlier as well. So make sure that the purpose of your speech is always realized. Avoid drifting into unrelated stories or random details, and make sure that every example you share and every example you say serves the main message that you want to deliver. And if your audience can leave the room after your speech and summarize your speech in one simple line, then you know that you have succeeded. Finally, let's talk about time management, which is also really important. And especially in speech competitions, you'll be given a time limit, so it's really important to adhere to that. And the best way to manage this is to practice with a timer. Break down your speech into paragraphs or sections, whatever is easier for you, and make sure that you time each of those sections. This is going to help you keep on track with the timing. And if you do find yourself running over time by any chance, don't panic. Simply summarize and do your best to get your message across. So those are the main points that I wanted to cover. And to give you a quick recap, here's what we talked about. You need to start with a good topic that is both relevant and close to your heart. Second, you need to build your speech with a clear structure. For example, introduction, body, and conclusion. Thirdly, you need to engage your audience with stories, facts, and rhetorical devices. You also need to give your message very clearly and with a lot of clarity. And finally, you need to respect your time and stay within its limit. So when you combine all of these, you don't just deliver a speech, you create an experience. And that experience is what people will remember long after you leave the stage. A powerful speech is not just heard, it's felt and it's remembered, and it has the power to spark change. And I'm very confident that you will also come up with speeches like this. So thank you for listening and good luck with your speeches as well.